Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Sports Blitz here, and we're back with a 7-round mock draft with trades. Now, I let you guys know earlier in the offseason that I wasn't going to be regularly doing 7-round mock drafts, but I was planning on doing one, when the draft got a little bit closer. We are officially a week away from the draft. I am absolutely stoked about it. So I decided to put together the 7-round mock. Again, I did put in some trades. I do want to mention I'm having to record this in at least 2 separate parts. I do have something else going on later tonight that I need to get to. But enough of the rambling. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe. Let's get on into it. So as you've already seen right now, with the number 1 overall pick, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Aiden Hutchinson. This one, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not buying all the smoke that, it's going to be Trayvon Walker. I really don't think it will be. So, and then we're going to move through these pretty quickly because otherwise it's going to be a super long video. So let's move through these pretty quickly. Number 2, I have the Lions taking Trayvon Walker. It's coming out more and more and more that they don't really like KT, and I don't quite understand why. I think he's got a decent personality. I think he's a good player. I think he has a really high ceiling. But like Trayvon Walker wouldn't be a bad pick either. So I think he'd be a solid fit with the Lions too. Texans going Sauce Gardner at 3. I don't think I need to explain that one too much. There's the next 2 picks. We got the Jets taking KT. Really, if he gets past the Jags and Lions and Texans, actually, I think he makes perfect sense for the Jets. I don't think he gets past the Jets. 5, Giants going Evan Neal. Protection for Daniel Jones. Making some lanes for Saquon. 6, I have our first trade. Now, I'm having the Ravens take Derek Stingley right here. There's been more and more talk about him, being widely considered a top 10 pick. I think it makes complete sense. Over the past few years, he's been talked about being a future number 1 overall draft pick, and I think it'd be kind of dumb if he fell out of the top 10, and especially out of the top 15. I don't think he makes it, too deep into the draft. So, had the Ravens trade up with the Carolina Panthers here to take Stingley. Let me go ahead and go to our trades here. So, I'm going to show just this first trade. So, I had the Ravens send this year's first and second and fourth, and then next year's first. I know that sounds like a lot, but when you're trading within the top 10, especially, up 8 spots to, number 6, that's a lot of value, okay? There's a lot of elite guys that could go past. And really, if the Ravens were to wait until, their pick at 14, they could be going down from Derek Stingley clear down to, Trent McDuffie or Andrew or Booth. And really, I think the trade up is completely worth it. Plus, Panthers really need more draft capital. Besides their first round pick, they didn't have another pick until number 130 something. I don't know the exact number, but really late into the draft. So I think this makes sense for both sides. So back to the mock draft. Number 7, I have the Giants going Jermaine Johnson. Those of you who have watched the channel for a while know how high I am on him. I freaking love him. 8, Falcons going Garrett Wilson, best receiver in the draft. I'm not debating it anymore. Falcons need a receiver. That's all there is to it. Number 9 and 10, I have the Seahawks going Ike Ekwonu. Protection for whoever's next up at quarterback. I think they really want to rebuild the O-line because I think that ultimately ended up being a lot of why Russ wanted out. He had weapons. a good portion of his career, he had a really good defense. He just never really had much of an O-line. So I think they want to start rebuilding that. Jets going with Jamison Williams. There's been a lot of talk about him going in the top 10. I'm not really opposed to it at all. I think he'd be a really good fit with, Zach Wilson and the Jets. The issue here is he has so much boom or bust potential. Because I'm not super, super high on like his route running. But if he can make just his, strictly his speed and his, I'd say, slightly above average route running, and good hands, if he can make all that work, he can be crazy good in the NFL. Just the route running where it's not like exceptional, in my opinion, that's where there's a little bit of bust potential. So, again, I really like him. I think he's worth taking a chance on. There's just a little bit of risk involved. But number 11, I have Washington going Chris Olave. I know that's a lot of receivers off the board, but where both Sauce Gardner and Stingley are off the board, it was either him or Kyle Hamilton. And I honestly... call me crazy for this if you want. I think Kyle Hamilton's pretty similar to Landon Collins, if I'm being honest. And where, Ron Rivera basically hated Landon Collins, I'm not sure he really, wants to go for a guy like Kyle Hamilton. So, and Chris Olave is really good. Like, he's probably the best route runner in this whole draft. Him and Garrett Wilson are easily the best route runners, and they're really similar players, to be honest. I mean, I don't think Olave is a huge downgrade from Wilson either. But for 12, I have the Vikings going Kyle Hamilton. Don't think I need to explain that one too much. 13, I have the Saints trading up for Malik Willis. Now, don't get it twisted. I like Jameis. I think they should give him a chance. But all of the rumors lately have been more towards, the Saints potentially trading up for a quarterback. And the big names there are Willis and Pickett. So I think Willis makes sense. So the trade there is the Saints give up pick 16 and pick 98. Texans just give pick 13. I debated on making it a 4th round pick instead. I wasn't sure if the Texans would quite take it though, because there were some really talented players in there they could really miss if they did trade back. So I figured the 3rd round pick would make it more likely for the Texans to take it. Yeah, let's go ahead and... Oh, sorry, as I didn't realize that the trades that I was showing there showed who the other teams were taking there as well. So, spoiler alert, but oh well. So yeah, then 14, another trade up. Steelers go Charles Cross. They actually trade with the Panthers again. Panthers decide to trade back even further. And what it ends up being is the Steelers also sent their 3rd round pick for it, but the Panthers sent back their 7th. So yeah, there we go for that. Sorry guys, I know this mock's all over the place. I didn't realize that with the trades, when you're on the trade screen, it showed what each team selected as well. So that's a big mess up on my part. So I apologize. But yeah, then the Eagles going with Jordan Davis at 15. I mean, Jordan Davis is just a freak. I think it's probably best player available right here. 16, Texans go Devontae Wyatt, who also has some freakishly high potential. I could see picks 15 and 16 being swapped. I mean, Devontae Wyatt, I think, would also be a good fit in the Eagles system. And I think, really, if they were to take Wyatt, Texans would still take Jordan Davis instead. So, yeah, those picks really could be interchangeable. 17, I have the Chargers going Trevor Penning. Really like Penning. I think he's aggressive. I think he's really powerful. I think he's going to be... I especially think he's going to be a really good run blocking tackle in the NFL. He'll be good at pass blocking too, in my opinion, but run blocking, he's really going to excel because of his, physicality and strength. 18, Eagles going Trent McDuffie. I really debated on Booth right here. I just thought McDuffie was a better fit for the Eagles scheme. So, 19, Saints going with Drake London, get a receiver for Malik Willis or Jameis Winston. I bet Jameis Winston would probably start first. 20, Panthers going Kenny Pickett. You guys probably already saw that. Future franchise quarterback for the Panthers. Next two picks, we have the Patriots going with Andrew Booth from Clemson, the J.C. Jackson replacement, essentially. 22, Packers going with George Karlaftis. Really, I didn't see any top-level receivers available right here, except for, you could argue like Treylon Burks, but I'm not sure Karlaftis would be available there at, 28, so I think it makes sense for the Packers to take him. 23, Cardinals going Kyrie Lam, best corner available. There's been rumors that they're, infatuated with Jameson Williams right now, so there's the potential that they could trade up. I'm not sure they trade clear up into the top 10, though, to get him. And, he was taken at 10 by the Jets, so, I don't know. That's an interesting one, but I really like Kyrie Lam there. Next two picks, I have the Cowboys taking Zion Johnson. Best interior alignment available. I'm not even sure if he falls this far, to be honest. He is a freak. Bills going Treylon Burks. Really, really good combination with him and Diggs. I really like Burks. 26, Titans going Devin Lloyd. My number one linebacker in the draft. In fact, really most of the offseason, I had him going to the Eagles' first pick. And I love Devin Lloyd. I think he's going to be a stud in the NFL. 27, Bucks going with Kenyan Green. They need interior alignment help. I think it makes perfect sense. 28, Packers going with Jahan Dotson. Another guy that is really small, but he plays big. He is so good at jumping up and getting the ball, and he has sure hands. He's also really good after the catch, actually. I've mentioned this before, and I know people are going to call me crazy, but he reminds me of a smaller DeAndre Hopkins. He really does. I think he's really good. He's so good at jumping up and, getting those 50-50 balls, and he's fast. Has super, super good hands. Maybe the best hands in this draft, to be honest. I really like him. 29, Chiefs going Daxton Hill and 30, Boye Mafe. Best players available, but also fill a need right there. No great receivers available, so that's the reasoning they didn't go receiver. 31, Bengals going Tyler Linderbaum. I think the Bengals would be absolutely stoked if he fell to them. 32, Lions going Nakobe Dean. So, let's go ahead and get on into the second round. I think I have enough time to get through the second round before I need to, take the break and record the rest later. So, here, 33, the Jags go with Jaquan Brisker. Best safety available. I don't think it'd be a bad idea for them to, start building up that defense even more. Get it as fast and talented as possible. 34, Lions getting their franchise quarterback in Desmond Ridder. 35, Jets going with Lewis Cine. I really like Lewis Cine as well. Really, really will help that secondary. Giants going Christian Harris. I know there's kind of this, idea going around that Christian Harris is overrated and going to be a bust. I disagree. I've watched a lot of film on him. I think he's pretty dang good in coverage. He's really fast. I want to say at the combine he ran a, oh, what was it? Was it like a 4.45, something like that? I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember thinking he was super super fast. Um, but yeah, Christian Harris is really good. I like him to the Giants. I think that's a good fit as well. 37. David Ajabo, first time I've had him falling into the second round. It's very possible his injury does that, but his upside is just too high to pass up on. If he does get healthy, he's going to be really good. So I think the Texans would get a steal there if he is healthy. So then 38, I have the Jets going with Kyler Gordon. This is a guy that there's kind of been some talk about him possibly making it to the first round. I don't know if he gets quite that high. If he does, I think it'll be in the last like four picks. Um, but yeah, he's really talented, really fast, good corner. So then here I have the Colts trading up for Matt Corral. The reason I had him actually trading up is because the Seahawks had two picks after where the Bears would be here. And I don't know if the Seahawks would take quarterback. I bet they probably would. I mean, Matt Corral is really talented. So let's go to the trade screen and I'll show you what they gave up. So, here we go. The Colts sent pick 42 and pick 159 for pick 39. There you can kind of see the Bears picks. Again, I know I wish this trade screen didn't show that, but, there you go. So let's get back to the picks. 40, I have the Seahawks going Sam Howell and Arnold Petit. Really, even though the Seahawks missed out on Matt Corral, I mean, Sam Howell's really talented as well. I think he could still be their franchise quarterback, especially when you have weapons like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and even Chris Carson, to be honest. Then, really, Arnold Bigate, really talented pass rusher, decent in the run game as well. So 42, Bears go Sky Moore. I think he's a guy that they realistically probably would take at 39, but adding in a fifth round pick there, I think it's a good deal for the Bears. 43, Falcons going Breece Hall, best running back in the draft. This kind of allows them to, where they're low on wide receiver, they can kind of put Cordero Patterson at receiver a little bit more. Obviously, he's still going to get some running back snaps because he was really good there this last year, but he can be more of, that mix instead of just, playing 70% of his snaps at running back instead. So Breece Hall really helps. I really like him. He's shifty. He is fast. Really good at breaking tackles. I really like watching him. 44, Browns go Perion Winfrey. He looked really good at the Senior Bowl. I remember watching him there, and he looked really good. Him and, I'm trying to remember what the other D tackle was there at the Senior Bowl that looked really good. But anyways, Winfrey and may have been Devontae Wyatt, actually. I don't remember for sure, but yeah, they looked really, really good. They kind of took over that game. 45, Panthers going with Tyler Smith. If they can trade back, get both Kenny Pickett and Tyler Smith, I'd already consider that a W for the Panthers. I mean, he's really talented. He's honestly getting some first round talk. I've seen a few mock draft people putting him in the first round. So yeah, that'd be a steal for the Panthers. 46, Vikings going to Marvin Leal from Texas A&M. I mean, another guy who really used to be talked about in the first round a lot, but it's going to be like a Michael Pierce replacement. 47, Washington goes Tariq Woolen. This makes complete sense where they missed out on like Derek Stingley at number 11. And really, I think Woolen and Chris Olave would be an awesome combination for, their first two picks. 48, Bears go with Bernard Raymond. Really, like, just give Justin Fields as much help as possible. Give him the best chance to succeed. And honestly, this last year, I saw superstar potential in him. I know the stats don't show it. I know the wins don't show it. But he has crazy potential. So give him protection and give him weapons. And I think he's going to be good. 49, Saints going Jalen Petre. Super underrated safety. I mean, he's actually gotten a little bit more talk lately because people are starting to see, like, oh, hey, yeah, he's really good. If I recall right, at the combine, I want to say he ran like a 4.32 or something like that. So he's crazy fast, really good in coverage, hard hitting. I think he could probably come in and be an immediate starter on the Saints. So 50, Chiefs going with Christian Watson, another guy who really blew up the combine, looked really good there. 51, Eagles going Kenneth Walker. Now, I know a lot of Eagles fans are mad about this, but let's be honest, how confident are you in your run game right now? So looking at it, Miles Sanders has had a lot of injury concerns. They haven't given him a ton of carries. Kenneth Gainwell looked pretty solid as a rookie, but you also don't want to... I don't think he's the type of kid you want to give 300 carries to in a season. And really, I think Kenneth Walker would come in and be a huge upgrade over him anyways. I think he'd be better than any running back the Eagles have. And really, with that whole running back room as a whole now, that's going to be a pretty disgusting, offense rushing-wise. So I think that'd be really cool. 52, Steelers going with Sean Ryan, fix the offensive line a little bit, give Mitch Trubisky a chance to succeed. And really, I hear they're really interested in signing Baker Mayfield if he ends up getting cut. So that's something to watch out for as well. So, yeah, protect whoever's back there at quarterback. 53, Packers going Chad Muma. Really talented. I think this is probably about where he goes. Probably somewhere in the 45 to 55 range. Super talented. Solid in coverage, solid in the run game. Wouldn't be like a guy that I think makes it clear into the first round, but he's really good. Really talented. 54, Patriots going Quay Walker. Honestly, him and Chad Muma are like neck and neck. I mean, Walker, I think, is slightly better in coverage, but Muma is slightly better in the run game, just if you ask me. And Patriots really like their coverage linebackers. 55, Cardinals going Cam Thomas. Don't think I need to explain that one too much. Cowboys going Travis Jones. Get some D-line help. That's all I got to say about that one. 57, Bills going Roger McCreary. If he falls this far, the Bills have an absolute steal. I'd really like him to the Bills. 58, Falcons going Logan Hall. I mean, they really need some pass rush. Logan Hall's best edge available right there. Makes sense to me. Packers, 59, going Daniel Falele. Really, there's the possibility he goes earlier in the draft because he's got really high potential because just of how big he is. I feel like with the right coaching, to help his footwork, his technique, and stuff like that, he can be really good. Packers are a really good place to... Or I guess they're really well coached, okay? So he could go in and be coached on that technique and footwork, and yeah. I mean, really the Packers need a right tackle anyways, so he could probably come in and start right away as well and develop quick. 60, Bucks going Trey McBride. This is going to be kind of the Gronk replacement. I don't know if they're going to re-sign Gronk or not. Like, that's one signing, well, free agency issue this offseason that I've been so curious about. Like, are they going to re-sign Gronk? Because I don't know. But 61, I have the 49ers going Jamari Salyer from Georgia. There's a possibility he falls a little bit farther, but he's a really good guard. 49ers, I think, could definitely use a Laken Tomlinson replacement. Salyer's a good player to do so. 62, Chiefs go Isaiah Spiller. They need some run game help. They didn't have much of a run game this last year. I know Clyde Edwards-Helaire was injured a little bit, but when even when he did play, I don't think he looked great. And really, Patrick Mahomes, he deserves to have a decent run game. Really, same with Josh Allen, which I've made the same argument for the Bills in past videos, but that's besides the point. 63, Bengals going Isaiah Likely. This is going to be essentially their CJ Uzomah replacement. He actually ended up going to the Jets, so Isaiah Likely's a good weapon. 64, I have the Broncos going Kingsley and Agbar. I really like him. I liked him a little bit more than Drake Jackson and Myjai Sanders, who are also on the board. He's really talented. I really like him. But okay, guys. So I need to get some stuff done tonight. So I'm gonna pause this and actually come back and finish the last 5 rounds later tonight. Just so you guys are aware, I'm going to come back and go through the rest of the picks really quick. I know a lot of you probably aren't quite as interested in the last 5 rounds as you are the first 2. So yeah, we're going to go through those as quickly as possible, not spend too much time on each player, but I will see you guys later. Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. We are going to kick off the 3rd round. Sorry, I know that was a super awkward pause, but let's get on into it. So going to the 3rd round now. You can see kind of the first 4 picks there. So we've got the Jaguars going with Calvin Austin. Now I know Jags fans probably aren't going to like this one, okay? But hear me out. So I know in free agency they got Christian Kirk. In my opinion, they way overpaid for him. Just my thoughts. They got Zay Jones, which I also thought they kind of overpaid for, but it wasn't quite as bad. And then I want to say they got another receiver. I can't remember who it was, but Calvin Austin, he's really talented. He had an amazing combine performance. I remember first seeing him actually at the Senior Bowl and thinking, like, who the heck is this kid? Like, he's amazing. And really, like, on tape, I didn't realize he was as small as he was. He looked bigger. He is, I believe, like 5'8" and like 175 pounds, if I recall right. But he ran a 4.32 at the combine. Really good route running, really good hands. He can jump up and get the ball. Like, he doesn't play like he's 5'8". He plays like he's 6'1". So I really like him. I think he'd be a really good weapon for Trevor Lawrence. And really, like, I think with this situation with the Jags, I think you need to give Trevor Lawrence as much help as possible. But 66, I have the Lions going with John Mechie. Best receiver on the board. Go ahead and get a weapon for Desmond Ridder. Really, whether they get a quarterback or not, they need weapons anyways. I'm a big fan of John Mechie. I don't think he really gets talked about enough. In fact, I've seen some pages, some Instagram pages calling him overrated. Guys, I haven't heard him talked about at all, like this whole offseason. And I don't get how you can call him overrated when no one's talking about him. I think he's underrated. I think he's really good. So, yeah, I think that'd be a big steal for the Lions. 67, Giants going Dylan Parham. I mean, this is another situation that, I mean, give Daniel Jones as much help as possible. I can't remember if it was their GM or their owner. I want to say it was their owner. A while back said, we can't give Daniel Jones a fair evaluation if, he doesn't have the right pieces around him. I mean, Saquon's always injured. His receivers this year, while on paper, they looked really good. They sucked when they played, though. I mean, Tony had a lot of injuries. He was good when he played, but he had a lot of injuries. I think Kenny Golladay had a couple injuries as well, but wasn't that great when he was in. Darius Slayton had a disappointing year. And their offensive line was bad. So, I mean, fix the offensive line, get some good weapons, and I think Daniel Jones will be a lot better. Still needs to work on his fumble issues, but I think he can do a lot better with better pieces. 68, I have the Texans going George Pickens. Now, I know a lot of you guys are wondering how the heck I didn't have him go in the second round. I'm not, okay, he's not a bad receiver, okay? I don't want it to seem this way at all. But I don't see second-round talent in him. I mean, I think he'll complement Brandon Cooks well. I just don't think he's, first or second-round talent. That's just my thoughts on it. 69, I have the Jets going Leo Chenal. This is a guy that could probably or possibly make it into the mid to late second round. I mean, he can rush off the edge. He's solid in coverage, to be honest. Decent in the run game as well. I mean, he's a pretty balanced linebacker. His pass rush is really good, though. I do really like his pass rush skills. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy who could sneak into the second round. So if the Jets get him here, big steal. I'm going to go through the rest of these picks a little bit quicker. Not going to take too much time to explain them because otherwise it's going to be a 2-hour video. But Jags go Josh Pascal. Can never have too many pass rushers. Simple as that. Never have too many pass rushers. Bears go Darian Kinnard. Just like the Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence situations, help Justin Fields as much as you can. Give him an O-line, give him weapons, watch him succeed. 72, Seahawks get Brian Asamoah. Now, I know it's not quite the Bobby Wagner replacement that, Seahawks fans want, but he's good. He is a very good linebacker. And really, I'm not a Seahawks fan, but if I was, I'd be pretty stoked about the pick. 73, Colts going with David Bell from Purdue. Another situation like George Pickens that a lot of people are really high on him. And again, he's a solid receiver. Just don't quite see potential in him that makes him deserving of like a second or first round pick. So 74, Falcons going Darian Beavers. They really just need to fix that defense as much as possible. I mean, their corner situation is a lot better than it used to be. I really like their corners, actually. But the rest of the defense still needs some work. 75, Broncos going Troy Anderson, another really good linebacker. Guys, there's some really good linebackers in the third and fourth round range. I think teams are really going to start, snagging these linebackers off the board. 76, Ravens go Drake Jackson. I really like him. He was a guy that earlier in the offseason was kind of being talked about as like a very, very late first to early second. Some of the hype kind of died down after a little bit, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a really good edge rusher. Really fast off the edge. Really, I think the Ravens want to get younger on the defensive line. I know they got Odafe Owe last year, and I think Drake Jackson would really complement him and Calais Campbell really well. Then we have at 77, Vikings going Nick Bonito. You know, they need some more pass rush help. I mean, yeah, I know they've got Neil Hunter, but they don't have Everson Griffin anymore. So they're going to need another edge to help complement him. Nick Bonito's really good. Browns going Channing Tyndall. Tyndall. Another situation like, guys, there's some solid linebackers in the 3rd and 4th rounds. I could see is up to like 8 linebackers going in the 3rd and 4th rounds. So watch out for that on day 2. 79, I have the Chargers going Fedarian Mathis. I mean, they need some help in their run defense, right up on that D line. So 80, Texans going James Cook, getting Dalvin Cook's little brother. Really talented, really fast and shifty. Doesn't have quite the burst that Dalvin Cook has, but really talented. I think he's going to be a steal for whoever gets him. 81, Giants going Alontae Taylor. I mean, get some cornerback help. Corner is another situation like, pass rushers that you can never have too many of. I think he'd be really good with the Giants. 82, Falcons getting Carson Strong. Now, I debated actually having the Falcons get him in the 2nd round instead. Because I really didn't see another team that would take him right there, given every team's situation. I like Carson Strong. I think he'd be a really good replacement for Matt Ryan. I think he's actually very similar to Matt Ryan. Crazy thing about it is, though, Matt Ryan actually might be more mobile than Carson Strong. And I know that is super, super sad, but yeah, Matt Ryan is probably a little bit more mobile than him, to be honest. He's not a mobile quarterback at all, but he has a really talented arm, really good at reading defenses. I like him, and there's strong potential for him to go in the 2nd round. So I think it'd be a steal at this point. 83, Eagles going Ed Ingram. I mean, they've got a good offensive line, but it's getting a little bit older, so this is going to be kind of a depth type of play, so that they have some youth on that offensive line, also in case of injuries. So 84, Panthers going with Nicholas Petit Ferrer. This is a kid that actually I used to have as a 1st round tackle. This is the very, very end of the 1st round, but still 1st round. I don't quite see him as a 1st round talent anymore, but still getting him at 84, I think would be an absolute steal. 85, Patriots going Zachary Carter. I mean, Patriots love their defensive linemen. I mean, Carter is really talented. I think it makes sense. 86, Raiders going Cole Strange. Help fix that offensive line a little bit. 87, Cardinals going Jalen Tolbert. They've made it pretty clear they want even another wide receiver. I don't know how many receivers they think they need, but apparently they want to give Kyler Murray, all of the help. So, 88, Cowboys going with Sam Williams from Ole Miss. Help the pass rush. Bills going Spencer Burford. I mean, really, I don't expect Burford to come in and start. I don't. But the Bills really need to get better at running the ball, and I think they could definitely do that by both fixing the offensive line, especially the interior, as well as getting, another running back. 90, I have the Titans going with Greg Dulcich from UCLA. Best tight end available, kind of the Jonnu Smith replacement. Also a good replacement for, I want to say his name's Anthony Firkser. Firsker. I don't remember how to pronounce it, but it's like Firsker. So yeah, good replacement for him. I remember watching him actually at the combine. He was really good. I was really impressed by him. Tampa Bay Bucks go with Nick Cross. This is a kid who actually, as of late, has gotten a lot of talk. I've heard a lot of people saying they're super high on him and view him as, a mid to early second round pick, possibly even into the first. I could see it. I think if the Bucks got him this late, absolute steal of a pick. Do I necessarily think he'll go that early? Not quite, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if he gets picked before here. So big steal for the Bucks. 92, Packers going Jeremy Ruckert. This is kind of their long-term solution at tight end. Now, I really like Robert Tonyan. I think he's super talented, but he has had some injury concerns, and it's kind of made it tough on the Packers. And really, I think it's a situation that even if you have Ruckert and Tonyan, that tight end room is so much better. 93, you can see right there, I have the Niners going with Marcus Jones, help the secondary. 94, Chiefs going with Josh Williams Fayette. They really need some cornerback help. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Chiefs double dip at corner in this draft. They really need that much help. 95, Bengals going with Cam Taylor-Britt. I don't expect him to immediately start over Eli Apple, but Eli Apple's not great. So he would definitely be a good replacement. 96, Broncos go with Abraham Lucas from Washington State. 97, Lions going Martin Emerson. Another player who could possibly sneak into the second round, but not in this specific mock. 98, Texans go Brian Cook, best available safety. 99, Browns go with Tyreek Smith, in my opinion, best available edge. And 100, Ravens going Kyle Phillips. I really think the Ravens need some wide receiver help. I don't think it's being talked about enough how much help they need at receiver. Right now they've got Marquise Brown, and that's about it. So they really need some help there. 101, I have the Eagles going Kirby Joseph, best safety available. 102, Dolphins going Jesse Luketa, best linebacker available. I debated on having Damon Clark actually go right here, but decided not to. I think Luketa, Luketa's safer because he doesn't have the injury history that Clark does. So, 103, this is what I was talking about with the Chiefs double dipping at corner. I know I said it a little early, but this is what I meant. That back and forth with the Bills in the playoffs at the very end of the game, it was a lot of fun to watch. I loved it. Easily one of the best playoff games I've ever watched. But I don't think the Chiefs want to put themselves through that again. I really don't. So getting some cornerback help, I think, is going to be high on their priority list. 104, Rams going Cam Jurgens. Now, I don't know that he's going to come in and start, but he's going to be a good replacement for Austin Corbett. 105, 49ers going Khalil Shakir. This, I think, really is where he should go and where he will go, though there's been a lot of talk lately about him, deserving to go clear in the second round. I don't quite see it that early, but he's a super talented receiver. Um, and yeah, I think he'd fit really well with the 49ers, especially like I don't know what all the truth is with the Deebo Samuel situation. I don't think anybody really does except for Deebo Samuel and the Niners and his agent. But I mean, this is a situation to watch, and I think Khalil Shakir would be really good pickup whether they have him or not. So that's the end of the third round. Let's go ahead and jump to the fourth. Gonna go through these even quicker. I don't know that I'm gonna really talk too much about these picks unless there's specifically a player I want to really bring up. So I'll let you guys kind of just watch as I scroll through, and if there's a player I want to talk about, I'll do that. So Seahawks definitely, I think, will try to fix the offensive line for Russ as much as possible, and Lindstrom's a good player. Myjai Sanders. This is another player that I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks into, honestly, like, honestly, I could see him going as high as early to mid third round, to be honest. He's really fast off the edge. My worries is I don't think he quite has the size to be an NFL edge. I mean, we kind of saw it early on with Brian Burns as well. He came in, the super fast guy off the edge, and yeah, he was pretty dang good. I think he's a really good edge rusher. I'm not arguing against that, but he wasn't great in the run game, and when going up against the more powerful tackles, if he wasn't able to slip right past him, it was basically a situation that once a tackle got his hands on him, it was pretty much over. And I think Sanders is a similar situation, so I think he'll need to put on some weight, before he really shows his value in the NFL. Brandon Smith is another player I really like. I could see him going in the third as well, to be honest. Kobe Bryant is a player that I don't remember if it was the Senior Bowl or the Combine that I saw him at, but I remember watching a bunch of him and thinking he was really good. I think it was the Combine. I think I remember seeing him matched up with some of the receivers and thinking like, "Dang, this guy is lengthy." He his arms, I swear, are a mile long, and yeah, I really like the length. He's really fast. I mean, yeah, definitely got to work on his mechanics a little bit. But the physical traits are there. Yeah, sorry guys. I know this part of the video is kind of boring, but just talking about every single one of these players is going to take a long time, and I don't think you guys want to hear me talk about every single player. All right, so there is the end of the fourth. Let's go to the fifth. I really like Max Mitchell. I think he could honestly go earlier than this. Okay, all right. This one right here for the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to admit I made a mistake, okay? When making this mock draft, it completely slipped my mind that the Panthers have Johnny Hecker. I completely forgot they signed him. But in all fairness, it's Matt Rule, okay? We're talking about a guy that drafted a long snapper in the 6th round last year. Don't don't put it past Matt Rule, okay? I think we all know it's possible, okay? So, I know I made a mistake, but again, it's Matt Rule. We could see it happen. Again, you see the Seahawks just loading up on offensive line. I really think they're gonna try to get that offensive line completely rebuilt and put together well for whoever's next up at quarterback. JT Woods was a really good combination with Jalen Petre at Baylor. And I remember the Baylor boys. It was these two and one of their corners, I want to say. I think it was. They all were super, super fast. I want to say they all ran, I think, a sub 4.35, if I remember right. Like, they were fast. So, just one thing to point out there for the Eagles fans. Thayer Munford is another player who I could see going quite a bit earlier. Um, I'm higher on him than a lot of other people. In fact, honestly, if I were to redo the 7 round mock draft, which I don't know that I'm going to, this took me multiple hours, so I'm not sure that I would do that. But um, yeah, Munford's really talented. We could very well see him go earlier than this. All right, there's the end of the 5th. Let's go to the 6th round. I don't think there's going to be many players down here that we talk about. Oh, Damon Clark. All right, just ate my words right there. Guys, I love Damon Clark. I'm going to say right now, he is actually my number 5 linebacker in this whole draft. Okay, I am that high on him. I'm just very, very worried about his injuries, and I think that could very well cause him to fall really far. Um, does that mean necessarily clear to the 6th round? I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to tell if a team would be willing to take a swing on him. Um, but I'm gonna be monitoring that situation really closely because I would actually love for him to come to my team. Just being honest. Justin Ross, Clemson, another player who previously had been projected a lot higher. His production really went down without Trevor Lawrence. So that's probably why his projection fell so much. But he's a talented receiver. I mean, I think he's a really good route runner. He's really fast. I think you'd put him in a good system in the NFL, and he's going to be a really good receiver. Kendrick could also go earlier than this. Also, guys, one thing to note, like, I know most of you guys aren't going to love these last couple rounds, okay? Um, being realistic here, like, yeah, there's a lot of players here that I know quite a bit about, even clear into the 5th and 6th and 7th rounds. But I don't know everything about every single player. So if there's a pick or two that you disagree with down here, guys, okay. I mean, I'm expecting a lot of people to disagree with this, and that's totally fine. But I also think it's fair to say that most of you guys probably care most about the first 3 rounds, and I think the first 3 rounds of this mock I thought looked really, really good. Amari Carter is a player that I could see going as high as the 5th round. I really like him too. Though I made the actual mock itself yesterday, and I was kind of picturing this as a Terrell Edmonds replacement, but they re-signed him today. So, there's that. I mean, who knows? They could still look to add another safety, but yeah, that was my reasoning for that pick. Kevin Austin. Guys, another thing, if I could redo this mock draft, which again, I'm not going to because of how long it took, I would put Kevin Austin way higher in this draft. Like, I'm talking like 4th or 5th round. When I was doing this mock, I forgot he was available, essentially. So, Raiders fans, kind of don't get your hopes up too high, because he's here. I really think he'll go in the... I don't think he falls past the 5th round. I could see him even going mid to late 4th round. But he looked incredible. Like, I'm talking, like, incredible at the Combine. Like, really, whoever gets him, I would probably consider it the steal of the draft. Just being honest. I love Kevin Austin. I kind of forgot about him when doing this mock the first time, so. And again, guys, I know I make mistakes sometimes in my mocks, okay? I admit that. I'm human. I know my mocks aren't going to be, 100%, but nobody's mocks ever are, so. So, yeah, take these picks with a grain of salt. Also, Bailey Zappi, this is another player that I kind of forgot he was on the board most of this time. I think he could go as high as maybe late 3rd round, to be honest. I think he'll surefire go, before the end of the 4th round. Just another player I really forgot about. So, again, I make mistakes sometimes. So, all right, there is my 7-round mock draft. Again, guys, let me know what you think of the mock draft in the comment section below. I really put a lot of time into this. Like, the actual putting together of the mock draft, it took me good 2.5 hours. And again, this video itself took an hour to record. So, yeah, if you could show some love on the like button and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. Share out the video if if you'd like. I'd appreciate that as well. I'm super excited for the draft coming up. It's 6 days away now. Also, on draft night, I'm going to be doing a news video for all 32 picks as they come out. So, say as soon as the number 1 overall draft pick gets announced, I'm going to do a video saying, like, breaking, the Jags drafted whoever. I'm going to do that for all 32 picks on the first round. So, make sure to stay tuned for that. But, again, guys, hit that like button, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.